Sounds good to me. Thank you, Caitlin. On several years ago, but she managed to give her grown-up grandson a really nice gift this year, just in time for Christmas. At first glance, you might just see old Astrodome seats, but here, take a closer look. So Matthew Murphy isn't waiting to see what Santa's going to put underneath the Christmas tree. He brought his own Christmas gift. Matthew, tell me about your Christmas present to yourself.
So it took a lot of talking into to get to my wife, but I got a chance to capture my childhood by getting a couple of seats from the Astrodome. My grandmother would invite us down to come down to Houston so we could stay in the air conditioned here, and to entertain me, she bought season tickets to the Astros.
So it was more than just going to a baseball game for you.
Oh, absolutely. It was about hanging out with my grand-grand.
Oh, and you told me going to the baseball game with your grand-grand, those are some of the best childhood memories you have.
You know, I had a colorful past. My mom and dad got divorced when I was very, very young, 2 years old, something like that. So there's several things that I can remember about my past that are bad, but it's these moments that I remember. The moments of sitting in those chairs and going to the Astro games and going to the 1986 All-Star game, and how my grandmother, who was the biggest Nolan Ryan fan, and you know, he'd strike him out and she'd say, "Attaboy, Noli," you know, and that was a big deal. You want to sit on with me? Come on.
Woo!
Yeah! Attaboy, Noli!
Those are some good memories for you.
Oh, absolutely.
So seeing these seats right now, the seats that you're now cleaning that you just picked up from the Astrodome, what is it like for you now to see these seats?
Well, the best part about these seats is we don't know what the Astrodome's future is. We don't know if it's going to be torn down, which I hope it's not. To be able to capture this in a tangible sense that I can touch, feel, let me go back to that memory, you know, with my grandmother, but also to transfer and to sit in the same seats that I did with my grandmother with my son.
Oh, that's awesome.
And tell him the stories about the baseball games and explain to him why this is important.
So some of the same life lessons that you learned in these orange seats, you'll be able to pass that on now to your son.
Absolutely. You know, that's something that will transcend over generations. So I have this sort of feeling that this was her Christmas gift to me.
Oh. So it turns out it's not a Christmas gift to yourself. This is yet another gift that your grandma gave you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. And have you talked to her since you got the seats? Like, hey, Grandma, let's look at what we've got. Oh.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I had a little conversation with her at the Astrodome when I first picked them up, and I sat in the seats and looked at the Astrodome, and I said, you know, grand, this is our last event we'll see at the Astrodome together in these seats. And I'm so glad to have that and capture that moment forever.
Brings tears to my eyes, and that is what Christmas is all about.